Welcome back, everyone, to the next installment of the letter. We just took out Johannes. Too bad. And now we gotta continue investigating this mansion. Apparently Hannah Wright's missing? What's that all about? I don't know. We clearly missed a bunch of stuff. Let's see if we can find out. I stir first, once recovered, having regained some semblance of sense and strength. Breathing still hurts, but it's bearable, as is moving. Although every small motion causes a wince, there will be bruising tomorrow. I can manage. Retrieving my gun from under the bed is easy, but only with some effort. Only with some effort am I able to drag an unconscious man to the far end of the room, snapping one end of a handcuff on his wrist while fastening the other on the bed frame. That should keep him restrained for a few hours, in case he wakes up prematurely. Which he should, by the way. I know this is how it's always done in media, but if somebody's unconscious for more than a few seconds, they may have gotten brain damage. He really should be awake now, and, not really moving. If he's just unconscious for, a minute, that is a serious, serious problem. All through this, Isabella stays quiet. In fact, she hasn't even moved since. Her hands still shake, and taking in... What? Her hands are breathing? Her hands still shake, and she takes in long draws of breath, while she stares vacantly in front of her, almost as if she's in shock. But I thought Johannes was shocked. Ha ha ha! Hey, I'll be here all week. Perhaps she isn't even expecting any result, spurred only by some kind of desperation. Now it's sinking in. Unfortunately, we need to get moving. We don't have time to wait for everything to register in our heads. Kneeling in front of her, I give her a light shake.
Belle, we need to go. We can't stay here.
Slowly she turns, staring at me with wide eyes. Worry flickers briefly in them, along with something ineffable. Then, without warning, she lifts a hand... and slaps me right across the face. Yeah, we had that coming. We did. That slow-mo. The sound of it cracks the air, shattering the silence like a fragile glass breaking. Despite the familiar rumble of thunder outside, it manages to ring louder above the storm. 'Cause it's in my head. I don't even know what hit me until my head is already snapped back and my cheek stings with her anger. And it is anger. In spite of the stillness and the lack of words afterwards. Not fuming, though. Never fuming. But the kind that burns lightly and soundlessly. A frustration instead of a seething rage. One that ebbs just as quickly as it flows, and once the tide subsides, there's only that gleam in her eyes. Warm, steadfast, and unflinching. Quietly, I brace myself for the truth underneath that gaze. It slips from her lips softly, nearly fading under the sound of the rain still falling fast, if not for the weight in each of her words.
What is wrong with you?
Belle.
If Zach didn't slip up, no one would have known where you went.
Belle, one person knowing is enough. Any more than that, and
I would have died. I understand the logic. He's right in the general sense, but, he's been ambushed, 3 times already, and everyone else, being alone, has been ambushed at least once, usually twice. Get the hell out of here with this.
You almost died! He could have suffocated you right then and there, and you could have died!
I told Zach to give me 4 hours. That would have been enough time to...
Enough time to what? Was it 3 hours and 59 minutes just now? What the hell was he... What?
It would have been too late! And by the time anyone ever finds out, you're already fertilizer!
She trails off, drags one indrawn breath after another. A brief lull as her frustration finally gives, dissolves into something more pensive and somber. Her shoulders droop, and though her voice rises hoarse and weary, in her next words there's only certainty.
You count too, you know? When I said that night, when I told you that I don't want to lose anyone anymore, that includes you. Alive. We're still here, Ash. You have us.
And once their meaning roars. It does so not with the force of a dam breaking or a raging storm, but with the gentle, steady warmth of a heart burning. An ember easing slowly, lightly, rising and giving until all that's left is a truth, an understanding. Not alone. Never alone. It lingers, even as we both drift back into silence and her words take root. because in the gratitude that swells after is another warmth blooming. Pleasant, welcoming, like finding home, like finding ourselves in the haze a squall has left, creating something fragile yet immutable in both of us. It's in her eyes, in the way she holds my gaze unwavering, in the way she carries herself despite sitting amidst a place she fears, in the way she keeps herself from trembling and falling apart, because fear is inconsequential when people she cares about are at risk. A change. She realizes that now, holds on to it. Another little thing. Another small thing from her that may go unnoticed and pass by quietly, but will eventually amount to a lot of things. Tiny gestures that mean nothing at first, but began to matter to me one day, until... oh. Despite myself, a small smile slips from my lips as the same warmth from earlier unfurls in my chest. Unhurried, familiar, and bright from all these years I've carried it, but have never given the words for it.
Stop smiling like that, Ashton! I'm not done scolding you!
That's an amazing line. I'm not done scolding you. I'm in the middle of something. But this time, they come easy.
I heard all of it. Don't worry.
Are you really okay? That guy hit you a little too hard on the head. Here, let me...
I reach up just as she extends a hand towards my face, catching her wrist in a light grip, drawing it closer and folding her hand in between mine. Although her expression does shift into mild confusion, she does not pull away like I'm expecting. She simply stares at me, searching. For her to allow a gesture from me that's perhaps too close, it tells a lot how far things have already shifted in the past few years. Cradled in mine, her hand still trembles. Most of the tremors have already subsided by now, though I doubt it'll fade away this soon. Even as I trace the lines in her palm, in what I hope is a comforting gesture.
I'm sorry, Val.
For what?
Other than for being a complete dumbass, I'm thinking it's going to be for keeping our feelings quiet for years.
Is this about what happened tonight? You can apologize later, when...
No, well, this too, but it's not just about this.
At the doubting?
It's for a lot of things. For calling you clumsy, and careless, and a scatterbrain.
Are you sure this isn't a concussion?
You would think that, wouldn't you?
Well, you don't usually apologize.
Yeah, I know. I'm sorry about that too. For all the times I've teased you and made you cry.
Unexpectedly, her fingers tighten around mine, our hands falling between us as something tender shifts in air. In the air, another exhale. Another drawn breath eases out of me, filled with every hesitation and uncertainty. But when I finally choose to break silence, it's only when I know that what will slip past my mouth is that one truth I will hold against the world.
But for all those callous words, despite all those, there's nothing that I don't love about you. In fact, those things, I love those. And everything that's you.
For a long moment she offers no response. Her grip on my hands merely tightens. Although my heart's pounding hard against my ears, I take a chance and look up. Slightly leaning away and giving her a cautious glance, more than ready to hear her rejection. And it is one. It's all on her face, in fact. There's a pained aspect to it I can hardly name. Regardless of what it means to her or what she intends to convey with it, the sight of it alone makes me regret ever mentioning anything. It's almost as if she's about to have a panic attack. Not that I won't be able to take it, or I'm expecting an answer from her. If anything, I think these past few days have proven how it might never work out between us. Though it's mostly my fault for saying all the wrong things when she doesn't need them. In the end, I just want her to know, that's all. But if knowing will also put a heavier burden on her, I'd rather not have said anything at all. As expected, soon she hastily pulls her hand away from mine, and when she speaks, there's a stark refusal to meet my eyes. Not that I hold it against her. The situation's already awkward as it is. There is a potential serial killer right there on the bed.
Ash...
Val, it's alright. You don't have to...
No, I'm really, really sorry, Ash. I can't do this kind of thing right now. I'm sorry.
Fair enough. Look where we are.
My family still needs me. My dad just died. And then there's still this curse going on. I'm really sorry. I just don't think of you that way.
Oh, ouch. So the whole love triangle thing just doesn't work. It's one way between Ash and Isabella, and it's one way between Rebecca and Ash. I guess there's maybe Zach and Hannah? I don't know. Abruptly, she stands up before I can stop her, quickly backing away and putting as much distance between us. She never really makes it past even the door, though. Her foot catches on the rolling pin she dropped earlier, and soon she's landing on her backside with a shout. Wow, that killed the mood.
Ow!
Are you okay? Here, let me...
No, I'm fine. It's okay. It's alright. I can stand on my own.
Brushing away the hand I've offered her, she proceeds to pick herself up from the floor, albeit shakily. Still, she refuses to meet my eye, and as soon as she can, removed herself from the attic without another word. You know, this is one of those cases where I really wonder how it would have been if we'd had relationship bar below what was intended. Would this have even come up? I suppose as to be expected, I suddenly jumped this on her. Jumped? Dropped, maybe. I bet the last thing she wants to do is talk about feelings when we're still in danger of dying from a curse, or Johannes. Hell, maybe even forget I said anything. Here's to hoping we still have the chance to fix this after we're done with the ghost problem. With a heavy sigh, I follow after her. Is Isabella into anyone? I don't think that's really been a thing. I don't know. Well, anyway, is Marianne alive? I don't know. Power still hasn't come back when we make our way downstairs. Tricky, considering the stairs to the attic are a bit old. One misstep and anyone might end up slipping and falling. You're lucky if that's all that'll happen to you. With the stairs this steep, a broken neck is a likely outcome. Thankfully, Isabella's here to guide me through the darkness. She knows this place better than anyone, after all, in spite of all the misfortunes it has brought to us.
Careful. The floorboards over there aren't very sturdy.
Oof. Right on cue, the same board I'm stepping on creaks and suddenly breaks, the pieces falling somewhere with a dull thunk.
Oh, shit. Scumbag wouldn't be too happy about that. Ow, my foot.
See? I told you so. You never listen to me.
They renovated the whole mansion. They can't even replace one tiny part of the house.
Why don't you file a complaint to BRC then? I'm sure they'd be thrilled to hear it. You know it was such a rushed job.
Outside, the winds have intensified. Even from here, I can hear the gusts battering the window in the attic. It makes you wonder why up until now the only person we've encountered from this house is the butler. Because that's all they need. Although, to some degree, they make sense. He is in charge of running the place. You know, it kind of reminds me of the anime series Black Lagoon. Like, how many guards do you have? Just one. Roberta the maid. It'll be fine. Where are the other servants, though? In this storm, wouldn't anyone want to stay inside? A likely assumption is they're all asleep. The route I've taken doesn't really pass by the rooms they've likely assigned as the servants' quarters. However, they have also heightened security. I've brushed it off earlier, thinking they'll be posted a lot closer to where the master's rooms are, but the second floor is devoid of anyone as well. Yeah, what is this? It's just outside? Like, I have no idea where this is going. As if every inhabitant of this place has suddenly disappeared overnight. But Johannes hasn't, and he's asking where Hannah is and not Luke. Like, I am out of my element here. More importantly, where's that scumbag? I don't like this. I don't like this at all. The fact that we're here right in the fucking middle of it makes me all the more queasy. And that feeling only escalates once we reach the landing and Isabella swings the door open. I'm gonna save. Wait. What? Wait. What? She pauses abruptly right in the doorway that I almost run into her. That was a clunky sentence. A look of confusion's in her as she looks wildly around the place, wordlessly taking in her surroundings. We're downstairs? With each turn and shift of her eyes, her shoulder only grows tenser and a look of apprehension slowly dawns on her.
Isabella, what are you...
We aren't supposed to be here.
This is creepy. This I can't explain, even with weird ghost shenanigans. Sure enough, when I look up, we're standing right in the kitchen, pots, pans, and all. In one corner, Zach and Rebecca watch, almost as surprised to see us. What? Whatever. McCulloch's... Oh, she's alive. McCulloch's also with them. Of course she didn't listen to me, even if I've already exceeded the 15 minutes we've agreed on. Although color and strength seem to have already returned to her, enough for her to be able to stand unassisted. Yeah, but how did we get here, though? Weren't we, like, in the attic area? The empty plate on the counter appears to have played a part on that. Good news, I guess. As for the other two, however, relieved as I am that they've had the sense to wait and not venture deeper into the mansion, I can't help but roll my eyes at both of them.
Zach, I said 4 hours.
I know, but Isabella asked and... Come on, bro, you know I ain't a very good liar.
I like that he's just aware of that.
And it didn't even occur to you to stop her?
We all tried, all right? She was out the door before we could say anything.
You see, Rebecca read a line right before we could say anything.
And how did you guys even get in here?
All three of them exchange a look. You know, that's a good question. How did they get in here? Did they also find the secret passage to the dungeon? Did they come to the front door? What? Did they climb in through the bedroom window, Zack style, and not get caught somehow? One that I absolutely don't like. In the end, it's Isabella who speaks up, albeit with a bit of hesitation.
We heard someone scream, Ash. It led us here.
The old ghost screaming trick. What is this, the third time? Whoa. Without warning, the door behind us slams shut.
We need to get out of here.
Oh, do we? Really? What a brilliant idea. Screw right. I need to get these people out of here. Lucky we're in the kitchen and we have 2 ways out. The back door and the cellar offers? Is that a noun I'm unaware of? Offers? Unless it's saying the cellar offers a back way out. But that's clunky as hell. We have 2 ways out. The back door and the one the cellar offers? Jeez. Except the hatch won't budge when I pull at it, and neither does the back door. As if something has locked it firmly on the other side, I'm going to save again. Zack also gives it a few tries, but even with the big guy's strength, it won't open. There's a long bout of silence in which we all simply look at each other, likely sharing the same thoughts. Now, I want to remind everybody of something. I've already done this, but I'm doing it again. Luke is on the relationship bar, and we have been playing these people in order, which implies we're going to play as Luke at the end. What the hell is that going to be? We're trapped. Something or someone has intentionally led us here. Like, doesn't this look like the climax? Where do we go from here? Fuck. In that same moment, once realization dawns in, something shifts again. Blood. In every nook and cranny, over every surface and in every inch of the floor. This time, unlike the first one I've seen, it remains, and gradually the whole room begins to reek of that familiar metallic scent. Sharp. Suffocating. Wait, really? Around us, every object, including the cupboards, have started to rattle as well. I thought the ghost had, like, powers to make us see her. The blood in the locker was a little weird, but the whole house, I don't get it. How is this possible? The sounds from outside, foreboding rumble of thunder, and even the howling winds have begun to fade away, replaced by whispers, shouts, and cries of pain. Though inaudible, each beat and note bombards every crevice in my head with vague images and sounds. There's no time to make sense of everything, however. I'm already shouting, fueled purely by adrenaline, barking orders and making a break for the door that leads to the next room, the dining room. It should take us straight to the foyer where the man door is, where 100 guards are gonna wait for us. This is probably another trap. But then again, I guess you're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't, right?
Move! Run!
Right in front of us, the mansion has started to change, and we're in the thick of it. However, instead of the dining room like it's supposed to open to... This is freaky. This is some Silent Hill 2 action going on here. The geometry of the house is just changed. This is like a scenario in the Mansions of Madness board game. It's freaking brilliant. Like, move the room over here. Like, what? The bedroom welcomes us instead. An image that lasts only but a second before blood begins to seep into the room. Click. Filtering into the walls, trickling from every nook and cranny. Everywhere, furniture shakes and every beam rattles. Before we can even step back from the horror gradually unfolding in front of us, the door slams shut. Well, the balcony's open, right? A loud thud bringing a sense of dread and chill creeping up in each of us. Along with it is another realization. The whole place is reordering itself. And with the door closed tight behind us, showing no signs of budging, even through sheer force, there's no choice but to go forward and hope to all gods that it'll lead us to an exit. Well, and this is totally bonkers too, because we're going upstairs, downstairs. Until then, running's the only thing we can do, spurred by nothing but fear and a sense of desperation to live.
It's useless, Ashton Frey.
But with each room we pass, it only becomes apparent that the house has no intention of letting us leave. It lured all of us here, and we've fallen for it. Now it's playing a little game with us. A sordid form of amusement. For whom? Their laughter is the only thing we can hear. With every hall we cross and door we slide open, the hope of finding an exit merely dwindles. The gun at my hip is useless here. So, it's consistent then. I am useless here. Some fucking genius I am. Some fucking person to trust I am. All of those, they mean nothing in the face of the unknown.
You finally figured it out. Huh, Ashton Frey?
Well, we saved Marianne, though.
Just give it up. All of them will eventually die because of you.
And you are going to die alone.
Shut your fucking mouth.
You know it's true, though.
All of it.
It's why all you can do is tell us to shut up. You don't want to hear a single word, because you're already aware of it.
You can't even admit it to yourself. Who's the coward now?
I mean, we've had this exact conversation before.
But no matter how hard you try, you're not going to be able to save anyone.
The more gruesome the place turns, the bleaker our chances simply get. Wails and screams fill our ears as we pass by. Words from a time and people long gone, laced with nothing but pure agony, calling out, reaching out to us. Their voices almost too real, as if we're not the only ones trapped here, that there are others begging for release from this wretched place. Or maybe it's all just a show? A taste of what we will eventually be. Souls forever held captive in a never-ending nightmare.
Mother. I've done it, Mother. Take me with you, please. It's still here, Mother. She's here. Help me! Help me, please!
Is this what the curse is? What it means for all of us? That the letter, not a morbid cry for help, was not a morbid cry, but an invitation? A beckoning for unsuspecting souls to be dragged into this place's horrors, to be put under centuries and centuries of torment and agony. Suddenly, dying a painful death seems preferable, enticing than ending up here, living a tortured existence. Or perhaps it's all the same. Back here again, why not? Still, hope worms its way into me. Not a usual thing for someone like me. But after going through countless doors and corridors, every little sign of hope I'm willing to cling to, as long as it'll get us out of here. We're back in the dining room again. How long have we been running? How long since we've left the kitchen? At some point, I've lost track of time. With the windows barred tight and the sounds lifting in the air, nothing but shouts and shrieks? What? It's impossible to tell. Not that it matters when an end is in sight. Shelves and furnishings bar the door. Really? Each stained with blood and gore, that if the situation isn't as desperate as it is, I'll find a different way out. But there's still a gap left at the topmost part for a person to go through, and also, it's a chair. I can move a chair. As long as you use the shelves to climb.
It's an exit, all right.
From here I could spy the familiar walls of the foyer. Relief. Only relief washes over me. Although my legs have been strained taut by all that running and every bone and muscle in my body aches, there's only an easing. A sense of tension relieving while energy back flows through me again. And what? Flows back. At the sight of an end. No sooner I'm leading us out of it. Zach helps McCulloch first, assisting her up and through the gap before giving a hand to both Rebecca and Isabella. McCulloch should go, like, in the middle. You shouldn't put her through first. The moment the ladies are in, I nod for him to go through.
Go ahead. I'll watch your back.
Surprisingly, he does that without any protests. Not that there's any need to. Sometime after entering this room, the whole place has calmed down. No wails, no whispers, just a silence too deafening. But I'm not letting my guard down until everyone's on the other side of this nightmare, safe. For all I know, this may just be a calm before another storm. Without further incident, however, Zach makes it to the other side, and I'm following after him. However odd this hush is, I turn my back from it and climb up. It's a tight fit. I mean, if Zach can get through it. But I manage to squeeze myself in. The unease remains, though. Maybe it's the adrenaline still coursing through me, or how easy everything has been after living through that nightmare, fleeting as it was. But for some reason, something's still nagging at me. The rights? The guards outside? Like, what is any of this situation? Call it a detective's instinct, or my training, or whatnot. I have a feeling something's going to happen and catch us unprepared, because we haven't reached the end credits of this video game. Unconsciously, before dropping down on the better side of this dream, my hand shifts to the gun at my hip. Not that that's done anything for anyone this entire game. Instinct has never failed me before. Oh, it's clean. My feet haven't even landed firmly on the floor when...
Had I known there would be a party in my own home tonight, I would have opened a bloody bottle or two.
Oh my god, I can't wait.
People these days, in my own home. Can you believe it?
Weren't you at my party? Weren't you my realtor? Weren't you the photographer? Weren't you my interior designer who disappeared for 4 days? What the hell is this? Also, where's his wife? Like, that's the big concern. Johannes doesn't know where Hannah is. Why?
I feel so left out.
And this is such a dramatic villain speech. This also feels weird. Luke's an asshole, but like, oh, well, look who's joined the party. Like, this feels bizarre. I mean, like, the way he delivers his lines is just, like, he's been begging for lines like this, but it still feels weird. A chill seeps into every vein in my body. All of a sudden, every ache, every pain returns to me tenfold, and my knees threaten to buckle at the sound of his voice. Though it appears friendly, I know it is anything but. I mean, duh. We broke and entered. One does not spend investigating a man like him for over a year and hold a grudge against him for more without knowing everything about him. His quirks, his habits. I'm familiar with all of them. And right now, Luke fucking Wright is beyond pissed. I mean, again, duh, though. He is correct to be pissed. All of us are in his house at midnight. Like, Luke is in the right here. I'm sorry. Like, what did you think was going to happen when he found 4 intruders that had tied up Johannes? Or incapacitated him anyway. Shifting my gaze upwards is nearly too painful, knowing the danger. Not to me, but to those who have been lured in here by the curse. So everyone in the room, including Luke himself? Huh. I mean, I guess I really shouldn't be too surprised, but it kind of surprises me that he had a gun. I don't know. The handgun catches my eyes first, next to that smarmy smile on his face. That is a very good smile. While he holds McCulloch, Zach, Rebecca, and Isabella at gunpoint. Now you can't shoot all of them, split up! Its sight, enough to lodge a painful thorn on my throat. I've been too complacent, as usual. Too focused on other things that I've completely set aside the fact that Scumbag will not be too pleased to see us here without knowing our reasons. That's... Well, I guess the ghost takes priority. I was going to say that's literally the first thing I would have thought. Let's say the second thing I would have thought. But even with those good intentions, curses, and ghostly apparitions aside, we're still trespassing in his home. Oh, really? Are we? The question is if he's even aware that the whole of his household has somehow disappeared, and he might be the only one here. Yeah, where's his wife? That's bizarre. Likely not. Fuck. Even with people he knows among the crowd, there's a significant effort in him not to simply shoot everyone in sight. Not surprising.
And really, Daisy, even you, what would Kylie say?
Yeah, good question. I mean, that's fair.
Luke, this isn't what you're thinking. You have to listen to us. There's something going on here.
Well, obviously, why else would people be trespassing in my home? What about little Lily over there, then?
Huh? Isabella?
What's your excuse? Checking back if your clients are doing okay? Is that it? Is this what this is?
It's so weird that he knows everyone here.
Oh, we're doing good, by the way.
Sir, please.
Oh, please, what?
Becca's right, sir. We need to get out of this place. You need to leave.
Tut, not a good enough excuse, darling. You people are the ones who need to get out of my sight.
Again, he's right. Like, we should just leave and be really embarrassed, and whatever happens, happens.
Don't worry. I might consider pressing lighter charges for the woman. Can't say the same for the rest of you. But really now, I swear the people of this city need to be taught the meaning of privacy. This is how you want to start the week. Why don't we just go with a bloody massacre if we want to surprise people in their homes, huh?
Casually, he waves the handgun at them as if it's just a mere toy, and his words are no threat. Like, honestly, I really didn't expect him to do his own dirty work. I guess if push comes to shove, but still. The safety's off on his, nothing stopping him from pushing through with his words. Call me paranoid, but at the slight gesture, I draw my own and level at him. And he let us? Finger on the trigger and ready to release the safety catch in case things go south. Oh man, he is quick to train his own on me though, and just like that, we're at a standstill.
Now, Feathers. Manners.
Yeah, we're probably the person he knows the least. Maybe he happened to glimpse us at the party, but he has no reason to really know who we are, so I guess Feathers is our coat.
You're in no position to be pointing that gun at people.
No position. I freaking love this guy. Well, no I don't. I freaking love his voice actor.
Why don't you put yours down first, and then we'll talk about manners.
Oh, he talks back. The gall. You know, your kind pisses me off so much.
Shooting him right now will be so worth it with the way he stares at me like I'm a damn pest. But this isn't what I've come here for. I'm not a murderer. As much as I loathe him, I'm not the kind who will kill people in cold blood, for my own gain or amusement. The law will bring him what he deserves one of these days. At the moment, however, we're all in the same boat with this curse, and he needs to understand that. Hey Luke, I know this is a weird question, but have you seen a spooky ghost recently? No, for real though, where's Hannah? The longer we stand here, the more time we're wasting and losing, something we don't have much of. But how can I convince him? Where's Hannah? I'm still gonna save. This scum is so full of himself. Prefers to hear the sound of his own voice more than those of the people around him, no matter how much sense they make. Not gonna lie though, I prefer to hear the sound of his voice. Probably only way I can make him listen is if I beg. No way in hell that's happening. Maybe I should eliminate the immediate danger first and disarm him. No. Oh, there's no relationship thing. So this is like live or die. My life's not the only one at risk here, however. I am gonna go with this, but I just want to see if we can successfully disarm him.
Sorry about this. I really don't have time for you.
I don't think twice. Within the span of a heartbeat, I'm moving and pulling on the trigger. 2 shot. Whoa! Get the hell out! 2 shots in quick succession echo across the whole foyer, and both hit their mark true. Wright recoils with a sharp cry of pain. His pistol falls useless to the floor with a loud clank, followed by drops of blood from his bleeding wrist. I did not think that would work, but I'm going to do the other option anyway. There's Zach. There's Rebecca. The story's updating because I'm acknowledging that they're alive. There's Isabella. McCulloch's here as well. We're all unknowing victims of this fucking curse. I'm in no position to pick who to save and who I should simply let die. And I seriously get the feeling something's gonna go down and Luke's gonna ironically save everybody because he's a second guy with a gun. I really think shooting him is a bad idea, even though that was interesting. I suppose my pride can take a few hits and I could set aside my beef with this asshole. And hey, if it doesn't work, I'll reload and shoot him in the damn wrist. Taking a deep breath, slowly, I lower my pistol. Though still on the edge and at ready in case he does something, I do my best to assume a less aggressive stance.
Listen, Wright. I need you to...
You broke into my house, and somehow, you expect me to listen like a good little boy.
Again, he is right.
Are you a bit touched in the head, Feathers? I'm not the one breaking laws here.
Look here, fucker. If I wanted you dead, I could have done it so many times already.
I love how the swallow, pride, and beg option is, look, I need you to listen. Alright, look here, fucker. Like, begging just didn't happen.
In fact, I can easily shoot you down right here, right now. And you won't be able to do a damn thing, even with that gun.
I would know. I got ambushed like 3 times, despite having my gun almost ready. Suddenly he laughs, almost howling in fact, like I've just told him the best joke he's heard all his life. The only thing missing is for him to keel over and start rolling around the floor, all while I do my best not to sock him with the sorry end of my pistol. Not gonna lie, we do sound pretty try-hard badass. Luke has his gun trained on me, and I'm like, yeah, whatever man, I could kill you 2 times before you do anything.
You have guts, Feathers. You have guts. Did you hear what you just told me? You've just threatened me inside my own house. My own home.
You just threatened me. I think I've mentioned this before, he really sounds like Alfred Ashford.
You know what I'm thinking right now? In another lifetime, we would have probably gotten along well.
We're not so different, you and I. He's right on that, at least. I might have ended up like him, if I didn't have Professor Andrew, Rebecca, Zach, and Isabella. One mistake and it would have been too late for me. With his laughter rings all those possibilities I could have lived, but I've never been given the choice. All because I have other people with me. People who care. A sobering realization. But not so much when suddenly his chuckling stops. In 2 heartbeats, he marches towards me, grabs my collar, and aims his gun right at my head. I'm still holding out!
Ashton! Luke, no!
Hey, now you two, I'm sure we can all talk about this first.
And McCulloch's just like, I don't know. At this distance, a slight flick of that finger on the trigger will be able to do more than kill me. It'll double kill me.
What is it that you people really want with me? This is the 2nd time this week, and I'm really getting weary of this little game. Did the NCA send you to apprehend me, or has somebody paid you off to kill me? Which one is it, Feathers? Mind you, my arm's getting tired. Better answer quick if you don't want to beat the business end of this gun.
I keep my eyes trained on him in spite of the huge threat he poses right now, because if there's anything people like him, like us, prefer, it's honesty. You don't give that impression without keeping a solid eye contact.
I'm not with NCA. I'm just here to help. There's something else in this house, and we're all in danger.
And again, like, elephant in the room, where's your wife?
You have to believe me, right? You need to let us go. You need to get out of here before it's too late. If you want to keep your sorry ass alive, you'll listen to people with more brain cells than you.
Well, I'm convinced.
Why, you insolent!
I'm not gonna lie, though. Ash has got guts to be saying stuff like that, like at gunpoint. His finger moves, but I am prepared. My hand ready to reach up, disarm him, and knock him out. If I have to drag him out of this place unconscious to keep him from suffering the fates of every other person who has died from this curse, so be it. However, before either of us can fire a shot or tackle the other to the ground, another voice echoes throughout the foyer. Oh yeah? A small little thing compared to the storm raging outside. It rings above it nevertheless, causing all of us to stop and turn. Oh? At the top of the staircase, Hannah Wright stands. So why did Johannes have no clue where she was? Ghost or no ghost? To make matters worse, that thing's behind her, menacing. A rotting hand, wrapped firmly around her neck. She looks like death. You know, honestly, you'd think the ghost would want us to kill ourselves off. I don't know why it's doing this, but good for us, I guess. Pale and shaky, eyes red with tears, we nearly don't hear her as she pleads.
Luke, help me. Please.
Outside, another streak of lightning flashes and a clap of thunder ripples across the sky. As if this whole thing can't get any more foobar than it already is. That's fucked up beyond all repair, ladies and gentlemen. ... is right. And another one. Oh, what? Oh my god! To say that I'm scared of what's happening is a gross understatement, but for now it is time to stop the installment. Well, we certainly made a lot of progress today, didn't we? We got a big climax after having dealt with Johannes last time. That was kind of a climax. But we got another one! We expressed our feelings to Isabella, didn't really seem to work, but now's not the time or place, and she may not be into us anyway. I mean, it is what it is. You can't have it all. But then Luke fucking Wright, baby! And a dramatic conclusion with a ghost holding his wife hostage while we're all there to see what happens. And now we play as the man himself. I cannot wait. Until next time, everyone.